inside the CrossFit Update studios. Sean Woodland with Rory McKernan and Tommy Marquez, breaking down all the regions and regionals that will be part of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games season. Taking a look right now at the East Regional and the two regions that feed into it. And this one remains relatively unchanged as far as the regions that feed into it. However, the number of athletes that each region is sending to the regional has changed. The Northeast will get 25. Canada East gets 15, so that's 5 spots fewer than they had last year, but they will still be sending 5 men, women, and teams to the CrossFit Games. Now, the biggest change here, other than the athletes that are going to the regionals, is the fact that Matt Fraser is no longer in the East Regional. That sort of turns things over to Patrick Vellner as the favorite there, but he is going to have some competition in the form of some guys who coming back with a bit of a chip on their shoulders.
Yeah, one of them being one of his fellow French Canadians out in Canada East, and Alex Vigneault, who the last time we saw was 9th at the Games, coming off a top 10 performance, had his regional and his year cut short because of a pec injury just before the East Regional. But he's a guy that I actually just spoke to a couple of weeks ago, and you know, he's pretty straight-laced. He just said, it's going to be big for me. And I talked to his countryman Albert Dominic LaRouche maybe 5 minutes afterwards, and Albert just goes, he's angry. Watch out.
That's a better story, right? You just stopped mid-sentence and said, hey, watch out for Alex.
Yeah, he was talking about, like, you know, his year and training so far, and he just cuts off dead serious and is like, you know, Alex is mad, right? Like, he's coming for blood this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting for a lot of those guys who don't have Matt Fraser there anymore, and all those guys who, like you mentioned, are on the rebound. I'll be watching old T-Rex Paulson. Mm-hmm. You know, there's in every regional you've got the top athletes and a little bit of a fall off. He was in that top 3. He really wasn't that far behind Vellner and Matt Fraser. So I got my eyes on him. I'll be interested to see how the leaderboard actually does shift out when you have more good scores from those top athletes who had to withdraw last year.
Yeah, you mentioned Alex Vigneault. Just back in 2016 when Fraser won his first Games, Alex Vigneault was the only other man not named Matt Fraser to lead the CrossFit Games. He had the top spot on the leaderboard after 2 events.
Yeah, and he's got another French-Canadian that he trains with and has competed with, his buddy Alexander Caron, who's another guy you should be watching out for. At 22 years old, he's been to regionals 4 times already, so coming into his 5th potential regional season before the time most people get done with college. He's improved every single year at regionals, going from 24th to 23rd to 14th to 7th last year. With the power vacuum at the top, with the Fittest Man on Earth leaving, I think this is a great opportunity for another young athlete from Canada East to show up big.
Let's go over to the women's side. And Katrin Davidsdottir did not win this regional last year. That went to Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault. Katrin is always going to be a favorite because of what she did at the CrossFit Games for 2 straight years, winning it. But have we seen the best Davidsdottir that we are going to see?
Not by a long shot, in my opinion. Not by a long shot. Katrin has always been, we've always touted her mindset, and we've always, you know, really celebrated the fact that she doesn't look at the leaderboard, she doesn't look at other athletes. In talking to her over the past year, actually, especially since the CrossFit Games in Madison, I've heard her use different verbiage, like she's angry, she's aggressive. She said part of the problem was that she just didn't go out and get it, and I'm very excited to see a Katrin Davidsdottir who has it all together upstairs, as we know by her 2 championships, but who also has a little fire in her belly and something to prove.
Yeah, I mean, what a difference a year makes, right? Last year at this time, she's coming off 2 back-to-back wins. I mean, she's far and away the favorite, and we're talking about her as one of the best potentially of all time. And a year later, and a 5th place finish, which by her standards the previous couple of years is maybe a bit of a down year, and she didn't quite necessarily carry the fire that we saw from the previous 2 years. I think that she's still got something left in the tank to maybe move up a little bit. But most importantly, I'm excited to maybe see the chip on her shoulder coming back this year after a less than ideal performance. I had an opportunity to see her throw down in a non-sanctioned competition a couple weeks ago where she showed up out of the blue, unannounced, last minute, signed up, torched the field, and basically just packed up and went home. And that's the kind of Katrin you want to see all season long. And I hope if she can kind of channel that the rest of the season, then she'll be back at the top.
And the spotlight is no longer on her. Of course, it's going to be on the 2 from Australia here, at least in the open. So maybe Katrin can fly under the radar a little bit and recapture some of that fire. That's it for us for today. For Tommy and Rory McKernan, I'm Sean Woodland. Remember, guys, if you haven't signed up for the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Open, what are you waiting for? Do it now. Head to games.crossfit.com.